Tonight,
the Rangers
on to the final.
It's pretty special, and we want to go home with it.
The Kitchener Rangers celebrating a big win, but struggling.
Well, that's a cowardless play. Stomping with the skate, that's not tough hockey. That's coward hockey.
To understand a move.
Obviously, it's not a hockey play, and it's not how we play the games.
That has an opponent kicked out of the tournament. Approved after the fact.
I fundamentally have a problem with the precedent we're setting here tonight.
The hesitation and the questions about a big build in Woolwich.
They installed the ice rink after the fact.
That went up without proper permissions. Plus, big rescues.
When you're in a very stressful situation and you don't have that training, sometimes you act before you think.
A look at some heavy but delicate training.
We want to help that animal. And we can sometimes put ourselves in harm's way doing it without the proper training.
For first responders.
Good evening. The Kitchener Rangers are one win away from hoisting the Memorial Cup. They are heading to Sunday's championship game undefeated, setting a record for most appearances in a final, although last night's game has also had people talking for other reasons. CTV's Colton Weens live to break it all down for us. And Colton, first of all, the team setting a record in a game that also saw a major suspension handed out, and the Rangers also have some rest now while the dust settles on everything.
Yeah, that's totally right, Tony. The team getting a few days of rest as they prepare for Sunday. They don't know who they will play in the finals just yet, but Rangers fans are wondering if Christian Humphries will be back after he left last night's game with an apparent injury, and today the league suspended the player responsible.
The Rangers book a ticket to the Memorial Cup final.
It wasn't a blowout like the first two games, but the Kitchener Rangers have clinched first place at the Memorial Cup, defeating Chicoutimi 3-2 in Kelowna Tuesday night, and will play in the finals on Sunday.
Wasn't pretty tonight. Wasn't pretty, but we got the job done, and that's the only thing that matters.
Winning all three round robin games to go to the finals directly is the dream come true.
The Rangers set a new record as the team with the most appearances in the Memorial Cup finals with 7. Now they'll wait to see who they will play on Sunday.
Only thing that matters, now we have 4 days off, and I know we'll be better. We'll play a lot better when the final game starts.
What a treat this is for our last game in this league to be playing for the Memorial Cup. It's pretty special, and we want to go home with it.
Goaltender Christian Kirsch turned away 26 of 28 shots faced, helping secure the win for Kitchener.
As everyone's piled up, and that is greasy. That is so greasy, my goodness.
But this play in the third period got the most attention of hockey fans. Chicoutimi's Jordan Tourigny bringing his skate blade down on Christian Humphries, and Humphries left the game and didn't return.
Yeah, we'll see how Humphries is. I don't know yet.
The Rangers tell CTV News Humphries remains in good spirits, but is currently still being evaluated. Tourigny was assessed a match penalty and left the game.
Well, that's a cowardless play. Stomping with the skate, that's not tough hockey. That's coward hockey. That's not in our values.
From the screen, I thought he was, stepping on a stick. At one point, you see the stick going like this.
The NHL is in charge of discipline matters at the Memorial Cup, and on Wednesday, the CHL announced the NHL recommended that Tourigny be suspended for the duration of the tournament, which the CHL has accepted.
Obviously, it's not a hockey play, and it's not how we play the game, so yeah, it's devastating to see, and just something that you never want to see happen.
Along with the announcement, the QMJHL released a statement on Wednesday saying in part, Tourigny made a regrettable play in the third period, one he deeply regrets. However, the hate, threats, and violent messages being directed at him on social media have absolutely no place in our game or in our community.
We love the passion from Rangers fans. We can't be, giving anybody threatening messages because of something that happened in a hockey game. We are the odd pod. We live and die with the Rangers, but this is not life and death. And let's just keep it positive. They're all 20 and under. Let's just be positive here.
Now, the league reminds fans that the players are young athletes and deserve respect and support, even in difficult moments. Adding hockey is a game. Please treat these players with dignity. Now, tonight, the final round-robin game sees Everett play Kelowna. If Everett wins, the Rockets will be eliminated, and the Silver Tips will play Chicoutimi in the semi-final. But a win for Kelowna will force a tiebreaker. Either way, the Rangers will play for the Memorial Cup trophy in the finals on Sunday. Tony.
And we wait to see who they'll take on. Colton, thank you. CTV's Colton Weens joining us live with that recap. And the Rangers Memorial Cup run isn't just uniting hockey fans, it's also bringing hope, heart, and some very unexpected supporters along for the ride. CTV's Spencer Turcotte has more on those cheering the team on in Kelowna.
3-0 Rangers!
With every goal and big play comes loyal fans in the stands cheering every step of the way. Some fans have supported the team from the very beginning of the season, including Harrison Yashi. The young Kitchener Junior Rangers player was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of brain cancer. The Rangers have showed their support for the fan and his fight, so he's repaying the favor, making the trip to Kelowna amid the battle for the Memorial Cup.
It's meant the world to us. My children are my whole world. To see one of them go through something like Harrison has. And thousands of people standing behind him. It's given him power and strength, and it's helping him heal, and it's put smiles on his face. So it's been very magical, and there's just been so much love.
And Harrison is showing extra love for some of his favorite Rangers players.
Matthew Andonovski, Cameron Reeve, and Sam O'Reilly.
O'Reilly, along with defenseman Jared Woolley, helped Kitchener gain some unexpected Rangers fans during this Memorial Cup run. The two players were dealt in a blockbuster trade from the London Knights to Kitchener earlier in the season. And with London not in the Memorial Cup, these fans made their way to Kelowna to cheer on the former Knights players in a unique way.
And when O'Reilly and Woolley were coming, my buddy Clint told me we needed to get half and half jerseys. I made some calls, picked the Kitchener jerseys up last Tuesday, got the Knights jerseys, and then my buddy Kurt at Collins Formal Wear put them together.
It's a combination OHL fans never expected to see, but this Rangers run is winning people over.
Go Rangers, go!
Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. on Sunday. The game could get pushed later depending on the Montreal Canadiens schedule. There are also plans in the works for a watch party at the Odd. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Kitchener.
All right, time for a first look at the weather with Ashley Bacon here in our studio tonight. And I think today was just kind of perfect. I have nothing really remarkable to say about the forecast today.
Well, first of all, welcome back, Tony.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you back here. And you're right, it was beautiful out there today. It was gorgeous yesterday, and the great news is we're looking like it's going to be another beautiful one tomorrow. So nothing but sunshine. We've had a little bit of cloud cover here and there, but really after last week's rain, we cannot complain. It has been beautiful. And as we take a closer look at our radar, we can see there's not a lot going on there. We don't see any cloud cover at the moment. Now that's going to change overnight. We could see a little bit of cloud cover through the overnight hours, but Thursday is shaping up to be nice and sunny. Right now, sitting at 23 degrees out there, a west by northwest wind at 22 kilometers an hour. So a light wind out there, not too bad. You might need a light jacket tonight. But as we take a look at temperatures around the region, pretty much around those low 20s for most areas. Sarnia sitting at 14 degrees, Goderich at 16, but everywhere else right around those low 20s. So, Tony, I know you like to get out for an evening walk, and tonight might be a perfect way to do it.
Looks like a good one. Okay, Ash, thank you very much. We'll see you later for the rest of the forecast. An indoor ice rink built on private farmland in Woolwich is in the public eye tonight after receiving a rubber stamp from the township despite not having the proper permits. The move has council members and residents raising questions about the rules and how they are enforced. CTV's Alexandra Hollick explains.
From up above, this 19,000 square foot facility may look like any other indoor ice rink. But on the ground, controversy around Godwin Gardens has been growing.
I fundamentally have a problem with the precedent we're setting here tonight if we vote for this in favor.
The ice rink stands on private farmland in Woolwich off Sawmill Road. In the summer, it's used to store hay. When hockey season rolls around, it's game on. The renovations were done without the proper permits, and after township staff told the owner the rink wouldn't slide under agricultural zoning.
They installed the ice rink after the fact. So we found out about that after the fact, and then approached them and said, you know, this isn't an approved use for this building.
The owners then applied for a zoning bylaw, which was approved by council Tuesday night. But not everyone was on board.
Just because you can, afford to put in a very large hockey arena doesn't mean that you don't also have to follow the proper procedures and rules that we have in place.
Ward 3 Councillor Kayla Grant says she's concerned about what council's decision means for similar issues in the future.
Puts us in a dubious standing to say to residents that you have to follow the rules when we've allowed others to kind of bend those.
Woolwich Mayor Sandy Shantz says everything will be dealt with on a case-by-case basis.
I certainly don't condone going ahead and doing it without the proper approvals, and this one came around as it did, but certainly it wouldn't necessarily be the same result for every case.
Now that the zoning bylaw has been approved, the rink can operate privately between November 1st and March 31st, but it can't be rented out or used commercially. And while the owners tell council the rink is for friends and family, Grant says it's hard to take their word for it.
It's like, well, you've already done it. You've had a history of not asking permission before. I'm not going to take you at your word for it.
The owner is now tasked with working with the township's chief building official to make sure the facility is up to code and that Godwin Gardens will flourish for years to come. Alexandra Hullick, CTV News.
And now to a zoning issue in Cambridge. Developers want to turn a 500-acre parcel of farmland north of Hespeler into homes for up to 11,000 people. And this could turn into a battle at the provincial level. CTV's Jeff Pickle is live with more on this. And Jeff, council rejected the draft proposal, but there is the threat of the Ontario Land Tribunal looming large.
Well, Tony, the fear for councils really across the province is they can vote something down, but if the developer goes to the Land Tribunal, there is a chance they can get what they want without council's endorsement. City staff recommended a rejection of this proposal, saying it's incomplete. The developer says it's city staff who have shut down their attempts to work together. Over 500 acres of land wedged between Hespeler Road and Chilligo Road. Two home builders, Mattamy and Cachet, are seeking approval to build up to 3,800 homes.
I just want to, really underline the fact that real lives are affected by these sorts of things.
Many nearby residents at council last night there to voice their disapproval.
Myself, and I know many others who agree, we do not want to turn into every other big city around here. And once farmland is paved over, it rarely comes back.
Concerns range from traffic to environmental damage and the loss of farmland.
What is being presented here as progress carries devastating consequences for the people and the places rooted in this land.
City staff recommended turning down the application, citing a long list of incomplete studies and information.
So we have reviewed the report. I respectfully disagree with the staff conclusions and the recommendations in that report.
According to the developer, this is inaccurate, and they say it's city staff who have been unwilling to work with them.
We've attempted to meet with staff on numerous occasions, both before and after submitting our application. We were not able to meet with them. There was only 2 meetings we had with staff, one shortly after submitting the application where we were asked to withdraw it.
They say many of the studies the city is asking for are complete, and they say the ability to provide more information has been stymied by staff.
If we had had a chance to discuss all that and go through it, we could have clarified some of those things and demonstrated where we think we've met all those requirements.
City staff denied this, but say they did ask the developer to withdraw the application and resubmit it later. With dueling accusations, Cambridge Mayor Jan Leggett says she sides with staff.
I believe our staff, because we have worked with them. We know they don't lie.
Hanging over the decision is the Ontario Land Tribunal and the ability to seek its approval in the face of rejection from the city.
Because what I see here right now, is nothing more than a shotgun wedding.
I am concerned. I definitely don't want this to go to the OLT.
Despite the developers saying they do not intend to go straight to the OLT, Mayor Leggett does not believe them.
The only way that it could be not go to an OLT is if they remove their application
and they've collaborated properly, the way we have been expecting them to do. But they are saying that they are not willing to do that. So that tells you the mindset already.
Council voted 7-2 to reject the proposal. We reached out to the city and a representative from the developer, but no one was available. And the city is hopeful the developer will pull that application and resubmit it to eliminate that threat of the OLT decision. However, the developers said that would be costly and they have no intentions of doing so. Tony?
Okay, Jeff, thank you. CTV's Jeff Pickle reporting. A fireball lit up the early morning sky, visible across parts of southern Ontario and the U.S. It was captured on dash cameras and home security cameras. CTV's Sean Leathong has more.
A flash in the early morning sky, a meteor entering Earth's atmosphere seen in Buffalo and as far away as this one in Queensville.
Whoa, what the? I was coming out of Tim Hortons grabbing a coffee after the gym and seen a big flash of light.
Happening around 10 after 5 this morning, Brian Follow caught the flash on his dash cam in Stouffville.
It was cloudy in the morning, so you seen it come through the sky a little bit. And then it came down, got home, decided to check my dash cam, and I seen the meteor streaking through the sky.
According to astronomer Peter Brown at the University of Western Ontario, the actual location of the meteor was hundreds of kilometers away.
Started over Lake Erie and ended in upper New York State. It was caused by an object about the size of between a softball and a basketball that hit the atmosphere moving about 50 times the speed of sound.
Best seen in western New York, Brown says the bright flash is the object breaking apart in Earth's atmosphere, with nothing likely hitting the ground.
The pressure of the atmosphere causes it to start breaking up, and at some point that pressure just exceeds the strength of the object, and it just comes apart catastrophically, and it produces a bright flash.
Brown says events like this are common, but it's a bit unusual for an object to get this low in our atmosphere, creating a viewing radius extending 400 to 500 kilometers.
It's mind-boggling to see something how science can be so huge, right? It's all around us.
And in a flash, it's gone. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Coming up, no more cooling off around the clock at Guelph City Hall. CTV's Karis Mapp will tell us why they've shut down the use of City Hall as an overnight cooling center.
Well, it's going to be a perfect night to leave your windows open and get a light breeze inside. It's going to be gorgeous. What will tomorrow look like and the rest of the week? Sunny, and how hot it'll get? Those details with your full forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
In winter, Guelph City Hall was a warm place to spend the night. In summer, those experiencing homelessness could use the lobby to keep cool at all hours. But that is no more. CTV's Karis Mapp explains.
As the weather gets warmer, Guelph City Hall will not be available as an overnight cooling center for those without shelter.
We do not have the staff. We do not have the right appropriate atmosphere or place. We don't have the ability to operate it efficiently and for the very people that we are trying to help.
A city report says problems arose when extreme weather warnings were issued, either when it was hot in the summer or freezing in the winter, and the City Hall lobby remained open overnight.
There was a lot of drug use, there was a lot of violence, sexual and intimacy issues, which I will not get into, and our staffing were not prepared for those things. So the city staff have now made the right call, in my opinion, that we are not going to offer this space.
The lobby was used as a warming center 14 times during the first 3 months of 2026, each night costing the city on average roughly $2,700 for additional staffing and resources.
Overtime on staff, emergency services having to come here, break up fights, violence, there was damage done, waste issues, and so on.
The space initially opened during the pandemic to accommodate the need when area shelters closed down. But lately, the lobby has seen a significant increase in visitors.
Frankly, to be blunt, I think there was a lot of people coming here because they don't like rules.
As of June 1st, anyone looking for overnight relief from extreme temperatures will be directed to Stepping Stone. The organization runs the adult shelters in Guelph, Wellington, and the location behind me here at 23 Gordon Street offers an overnight program every night from 8 p.m. until 8 a.m. Stepping Stone's executive director acknowledged City Hall will be ending overnight operations and reassured their organization will continue the work they've been doing for 40 years.
We already, as taxpayers of Guelph, pay millions of dollars a year to have that shelter system already in place. And so there's really no reason why we should try to duplicate that.
City Hall's lobby will remain open to everyone during business hours Monday to Friday between 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Guelph.
A new facility in Kitchener will support people with developmental disabilities moving from hospital care back into the community. Sunbeam Community and Development Services say their new Fairmount Road home will help address growing demand. The shared living space is currently unfurnished, but includes bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, and a backyard with a garden. And living units are not limited to residents, with space for support staff who will be on site around the clock. 5 residents are set to move in next week. Sparks were flying and tears were shed at Oxford County Council today. For the first time, the public had a chance to weigh in on a plan to turn the former Woodstock Y building into a homeless shelter. But it wasn't enough to convince council to change course. CTV's Brian Bicknell reports.
It is people falling through the cracks over and over again until there was nowhere left to fall. I have watched my son struggle in ways that I would never wish on another family.
An emotional self-disclosure for Tracy Sherman. The Woodstock mother told Oxford County Council of her family's struggles with a son who has schizophrenia and lives on the street.
This new building gives me hope because people need more than a temporary place to sleep. They need stability, they need dignity, they need safety.
She was one of several people who spoke at Wednesday's council meeting about news that became public last week. Last month, council approved the purchase of the former Woodstock Y building on Dundas Street to be redeveloped into a homelessness support center. The decision taking place behind closed doors, a move that didn't sit well with some residents.
I can't believe I'm standing up here to be against this. Yep. Your process of how you've run this behind closed doors and to find out through a leaked media report is where we're standing today. It's ridiculous. Every county person should be embarrassed at how that happened.
There are people who are unrepresented here today that we shouldn't forget, and that's people who are sleeping under tarps tonight, people who slept in tents last night in parks. And there are businesses that came to open up their business this morning and had somebody in their doorway and they couldn't open up their business because there was somebody sleeping in the doorway and they had to phone the police.
Council supported a motion by Councillor Deb Tate to hold a public input meeting for the Homelessness Support Center before the end of July.
It's not debating the homeless center. There was no input from anybody other than around this table of that location.
Also today, County Council voted in favor of sole sourcing the architectural design work for the new Homelessness Support Center at a cost of up to $250,000. That work to be done in parallel with the public input process. Brian Bicknell, CTV News, Woodstock.
A live look outside at the Speed River in Hespeler on a beautiful sunny Wednesday evening, and temperatures that were a little more comfortable today perhaps than they were yesterday, but right in that zone where I think a lot of people are really enjoying the conditions right now. Ashley's back to tell us about the rest of the week and a look ahead to the weekend in just a couple of minutes. Also coming up, airport transfer, a breakthrough on a battle between Brantford and Brant County, but not everyone is happy with it. And next, what may have once come from the U.S. will now come from Sweden, Canada's new defense supply partnership with the country. Next. Ashley is back with our 7-day forecast. I feel like once we got through the weekend, things really improved, and it didn't really matter what part of Ontario you were in. I was a little bit farther north, and we had a super soaker of a Saturday, and it kind of lasted into Sunday.
It was wet here through the weekend, but then as soon as things dried up on Sunday, it really took a turn and it got beautiful quick. And you know what, Tony, I want to remind our viewers, because we talked about this a couple weeks ago, the start of May was so wet and cold, and at the beginning of that month, or this month rather, Environment Canada did say oftentimes May will end much warmer when it starts cooler. So that is true to pattern.
That's tracking, isn't it?
It is. I mean, we've got another couple of days here, and it is beautiful. So.
All right, growing season about to begin. Swimming season, patio season.
It's all happening.
Bring it on.
Let's take a look outside. You can see there's a little bit of a breeze out there right now, but check out that sky. Looking pretty good just as we head into our evening hours. Still a few more hours of daylight out there before the sun sets, and why not get out and enjoy it? Because things are beautiful. What a great shot that is. Dave Pettit, our camera operator, bring us that live look this afternoon. Very beautiful indeed. And you know what? The great news is if you can't get out tonight, there's going to be plenty of opportunities over the next few days. As we take a look at our futurecast, we had a little bit of cloud cover sort of lingering through the region, but essentially skies are clear. Now we might see some patches of that overcast through the overnight hours, but by the time we get into our Thursday, main part of the day, very clear skies are expected. So great news there. Even Friday, we might see a slight chance for rain, but overall things are looking very beautiful. Right now on the West Coast, a nice day, 23 degrees in Prince George, 21 in Vancouver. On the other side of the Rockies, a bit of rain up in Fort McMurray, but Edmonton and Calgary, a bit of mix of sun and cloud. As we move through the prairie provinces, 31 for Regina and Saskatoon this hour. A bit cloudy there, but I'm guessing at 31 degrees, they're grateful for a bit of cloud cover. 27 and sunny in Winnipeg, so very warm indeed. As we move towards our nation's capital, 22 for Ottawa, Montreal, 26 in Windsor, 17 for Sudbury, as well as Quebec City. So things definitely warming up through most parts of the country. Unfortunately, the East Coast sitting a little cooler, 13 in Fredericton, 8 in Halifax, and just 3 degrees in St. John's. At least the sun's trying to come through there. Now here in southwestern Ontario, 22 for Waterloo Region, 22 in London as well. So things are great out there. No humidity to speak of. So it is very cool in regards to needing a light jacket tonight, but with that sun out, it feels great. Overnight, as I mentioned through the commercial break there, 10 degrees is our expected overnight low, so very comfortable conditions, perfect for just opening up a window, no air conditioning necessary, a northerly wind at 20 kilometers an hour. Now that wind is expected to push into tomorrow, with temperatures also rising back up to 22 degrees and mainly sunny conditions. As we take a little look at our almanac, just to point out, back in 1930, minus 1.7 was our overnight low. So by comparison, we are sitting pretty at 10 degrees tonight. Looking at our 7-day forecast, starting in Waterloo Region, as I mentioned, there is a small chance for some rain on Friday, but the good news is we will likely see lots of sunshine to accompany it. 21 degrees is the expected high, and then overnight through to your weekend, 19 and sunny. Perfect way to finish off a spring May. And in Lambton, Kent, Essex, a little bit warmer there. The sun is expected through the rest of the week and into the weekend. Low to mid 20s, so not bad. I mean, considering once again, we're not even in summer yet. This is still spring. I think this is a great way to start June as we enter into it. Southern Georgian Bay, 18 and sunny, and of course, around the late teens, early 20s for the remainder of the week. So not too bad. Okay, let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Gareth in Breslau of his crabapple tree and lilacs, which are beautiful. Tony, I just thought this is a great pop of color for spring.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Gareth, thank you for that. And you know what? I just spent hours and hours on the road, and all the way up north to eastern Ontario and back, you're seeing scenes like this in yards all over the place. The color, the blooms, everything's coming to life.
I always know it's a blooming season when my nose gets real itchy. I've got sneezes on the way just looking at it.
Right. It's beautiful to look at, not necessarily beautiful to breathe in all the time.
Absolutely.
All right. We will take the ups and downs of spring. Thanks, Ash.
Thank you.
Prime Minister Mark Carney announced today that Canada's turning to Sweden for a new cutting-edge aerial surveillance system. It's called Global Eye, and it's made by Saab. CTV's Judy Trin has more on this move away from the U.S. for defense supplies.
Packed room at a defense conference, listening to the Prime Minister's mantra.
Build, partner, buy. We are focused first on building in Canada.
Exemplified by an investment in a joint Swedish-Canadian venture.
I'm pleased to announce that Canada has entered into negotiations to procure Saab's airborne early warning and control aircraft.
Saab's Global Eye surveillance system is built on the platform of Bombardier's corporate jet. The company has at least 40 aircraft in its pipeline to be sold to Canada and other allies. 3,000 jobs could be created. Economic spin-offs are in the tens of billions of dollars.
What this will do is create a new layer of job opportunities in terms of the modifications of the aircraft. So what Bombardier is doing now is getting actively involved in the discussions to create this secondary production.
Saab beat out an American competitor for its surveillance aircraft, momentum that it hopes could lift its chances of convincing Canada to purchase its Gripen fighter jet instead of the US-made F-35. There are lineups to get into its cockpit.
We can show now as a company and as a country how closely we want to work with Canada. And if I can show how I can create an industrial collaboration and a hub on this type of capability in Canada.
At the Lockheed Martin booth, the F-35 simulator and its test pilot attracts interest but not buzz. Amid U.S. trade tensions, moving forward with procuring fighter jets has been paused for more than a year, worrying Canadian suppliers who have much to lose if the F-35 isn't selected.
Direct jobs, but also strengthening the company's programs and capabilities.
Wrapping up the negotiations for these surveillance planes will likely take a few more months. As for a decision on the fighter jets, the federal government is still refusing to say when. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
And just ahead tonight, the latest alert on distraction thefts. We'll tell you what the CAA says they're hearing more about and what they want you to be out on the lookout for next.
5K a day is back on 105.3 Virgin Radio. Listen to Jeff KP and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000 every weekday. 5K a day, Virgin Radio.
A breakthrough in a bitter border dispute over the Brantford Municipal Airport. The city and the county have signed a deal to transfer more than 1,300 acres of land into city limits. But as CTV's Heather Centerin tells us, one community group feels it was all too rushed.
The Brantford Municipal Airport is owned by the city of Brantford, but it sits entirely on land that is part of Brant County. But that may soon change. Both sides have signed a memorandum of understanding to adjust their borders, bringing the airport and 1,317 acres of surrounding land into the city of Brantford. The area is highlighted with a black border in this map from the city. The city saying in a statement, in part, that with that land, it intends to support the long-term planning, governance, servicing, and economic development of the airport lands. But the County of Brant says discussions over the land transfer has been turbulent. In March, a provincial facilitator was appointed to guide discussions, with a strict timeline for both municipalities to reach a final deal by the end of June. The county saying in a statement, while the County of Brant is disappointed by the manner in which this process was initiated and by the timelines that were enforced, particularly during an election year, County Council and staff have remained committed to negotiating in good faith while advocating for residents to the best of our extent with the parameters directed. A community group is also questioning the timing of the agreement.
Ultimately, we are going to see newly elected council come October 26th, along with 2 new mayors coming in, and the people of Brant County and residents City of Brantford would like the newly elected council to make decisions on this matter moving forward.
And it's not just the airport included in the land transfer. The city says about 40 properties are included in that area. Advocates believe homeowners need more say.
They need to understand the taxation implications. They need to understand the municipal and planning changes that may occur. There is a plethora of items that coincide with a boundary adjustment that the public is unaware of.
The city says there are upcoming public engagement sessions in June and statutory public hearings in July where community members can participate. But is it enough?
For the province and the city to mandate and expedite public consultation within 60 days on a decision of this magnitude does not make any sense, and it's unfair to the public.
Those directly impacted by the proposed boundary changes will be contacted directly by city staff. The city says, if approved, it would pay the county a $1.3 million lump sum plus $8.3 million for the land and would cover the county's $75,000 in legal fees. Heather Centerin, CTV News, Brant County.
All right, we are recapping our top stories now. Leanne Evans in studio with all the details. Stayed up late to watch it last night. Was exciting. Rangers one win away now from lifting that Memorial Cup.
Yeah, I don't know. Those late games, I'm glad that Sunday's final won't be on as late because I can't stay up
the 9
through the third period.
Starts are hard to get used to.
It's tough. Yeah. Anyways, 3-2 victory over the QMJHL champs last night. So the Rangers finished the round robin undefeated. They also set a new record as the team with the most appearances in the Memorial Cup finals with 7. Now they'll wait to see who they will play Sunday. Fans also wondering if Christian Humphreys will be back after he left last night's game with an apparent injury, and today the league suspended the player responsible. An indoor ice rink built on private farmland in Woolwich is in the public eye after receiving a rubber stamp from the township despite not having the proper zoning or building permits. While the zoning bylaw was eventually approved by council, some members say it sets a precedent that could impact future projects.
Okay, and looking at what our digital team is working on, Leanne, we have an update to a story that our team first brought us a little earlier this month.
Yeah, you may remember this one. Very sad story. A cat was found tied up in a bag in Cambridge. Well, now he's ready for adoption. McNally had to have multiple surgeries, but Humane Society staff say he's been nothing but sweet and resilient. You can find out more about the type of family they think McNally will be looking for and how to apply to adopt him on our website. Scan the QR code, download the CTV News app, or go to ctvnewskitchener.ca. Not sure if Effie's looking for a sibling, Tony.
Unfortunately, she's not accepting roommates at this time, but
he's
McNally,
cute though, hey?
Oh, little bow tie. Let's hope he finds a good home. You put that in there for me, didn't you, today?
I did.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
See how we care about each other here? Let's hope he finds a good home.
Let's hope.
Thanks, Leanne.
Thank you.
While CAA is warning drivers to be wary of an increase in distraction thefts, it says criminals are targeting drivers using a mix of distraction tactics and high-tech tools. The schemes often involve criminals approaching drivers who have parked in parking lots or at shopping centers and using electronic devices to capture their key fob signals. The scheme requires the key fob to be within range of the car that it's connected to.
Thieves are using different types of techniques to try to gain access to vehicles, and that's really trying to take advantage of a lot of people's goodwill by asking questions and distracting them for just a moment, because they'll have these devices with them that are intended to try and clone a vehicle's key fob, and by getting somebody's attention for a couple of moments unsuspectingly, they're going to get access to that information and try to get access to your vehicle.
CAA says to stay safe, you should park in well-lit, busy areas and be wary of anyone who approaches. Also, you should store key fobs in RFID blocking pouches. Just ahead, big animals, small details. CTV's Hannah Schmidt will show us how first responders were training today to deal with what can be a very stressful type of emergency. When large animals get stuck, injured, or into a panic, rescuing them is not a simple process. First responders from all over the region were out on a farm today learning that firsthand. CTV's Hannah Schmidt now on the special training that it takes for high-stakes situations when seconds count.
Yeah. Keep going. How many steps? Keep going. Back to our containment.
A massive animal, stuck, scared, and unable to escape. The kind of emergency most people hope they never see.
When you're in a very stressful situation and you don't have that training, sometimes you act before you think.
But here at Hollyoaks Farm in Linden, it's exactly what first responders are training for.
So that includes both police, fire departments, paramedics. It can include veterinarians, vet techs.
Equine Guelph partnered with the Hamilton Police Mounted Unit for a large animal mud rescue course.
We want to help that animal. And we can sometimes put ourselves in harm's way doing it without the proper training. So what we're teaching today is we're looking at best practices for both the well-being and safety of the animal, but also the people involved.
They're focusing on real-world emergencies, like trailer rollovers, barn fires, floods, or horses trapped in ditches.
We actually ran through scenarios where, it's a bit more hands-on. It might not just be horses, it could be cattle, fires as well, knowing how to handle, livestock in those, rare cases that we have.
This is the 6th time Equine Guelph has hosted the awareness level training in partnership with Hamilton Mounted Police. They practiced lifting, pulling, and repositioning life-sized mannequins using ropes, rescue glides, straps, and webbing designed to move animals safely without causing further injury.
This training specializes animal behavior, rescue techniques, lets us use the actual rescue equipment, and it's all about keeping the animals as safe as possible.
Some first responders may only encounter these calls a few times in their careers, but in rural areas, it comes with the territory.
We deal with a lot of calls for injured and distressed animals, and we have to be able to respond to areas such as barns, waterways, ravines, and rural properties to be able to rescue these animals.
1, 2, 3, 4, that's good.
Work that demands special tools, training, and delicate moves.
Stop, pause, think, and then try and create a plan before you act.
To prevent a bigger crisis. Hannah Schmidt, CTV News, Linden.
We'll have more news in a few minutes. First, let's check in with Ash.
Okay, you're going to want to have a hat and some sunscreen available because tomorrow is shaping up to be a beautiful day. Details on what you're waking up to just after this break. Start your night off with E-Talk, followed by The Big Bang Theory. Then take a break from that. Watch MasterChef at 8, The Floor at 9, and then back-to-back Big Bang Theory.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
All right, Leanne's back with us now because we are watching a story for later tonight. Leanne.
Well, Tony, we're keeping an eye on the final round robin game at the Memorial Cup. That'll see the Everett Silvertips play the Kelowna Rockets. Now, if Everett wins, Kelowna will be eliminated, and the Silvertips will play Chicoutimi in the semifinal, which will see one of them go on to play the Rangers in Sunday's final. But a win for Kelowna tonight will force a tiebreaker. So there's lots to keep track of here. We'll bring you the results at 11:30, Tony.
You see that College of Sports Media expertise coming through there from Leanne Evans? I love it. Thank you, Leanne. Appreciate that. Because, yeah, there is a lot to set up. There's a lot of possibilities.
I would need a whole whiteboard with, like,
a
markers.
flow chart.
Yeah. Every team gets a different color. You just figure it out
No
that
kidding.
way.
No kidding. But it's going to be exciting no matter how it all shakes down at the end of the day. All right, weather-wise, we're looking really good this week. This is the first week in May that we've looked ahead to the whole week and said, the rest of it looks great.
Not bad. I mean, the cool evenings for nice sleeping conditions, the warm, sunny days. How can you go wrong in spring? And tomorrow is going to be no exception. Look at that, Tony. 11 by 6 a.m. and by 10 a.m., 17 and sunny.
Beautiful.
You can't go wrong.
Can't ask for better than that, I would say. Nope. Well, finally for us tonight, nearly 150 of Canada's Olympic and Paralympic athletes were in Ottawa today, meeting with the Prime Minister and the Governor General.
It was the chance to celebrate their wins at the Winter Olympics and inspire the next generation of athletes. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports.
The Games may be long over, but the Olympic and Paralympic celebrations continue.
The audience today, dozens of Ottawa school kids.
It's really fun. I've been very excited this whole time. I got to wear a gold medal. It's been really, really fun. Whoa, hold on tight.
A fun and motivating moment with freestyle skier Megan Oldham and her gold medal that 10-year-old Ignacio Corpena will never forget.
Any sport, I'm now excited to do any sport whatsoever. I don't think it really matters as long as I have fun.
Do you know what that is? The meet and greet outside Rideau Hall.
Can I use the pen for a second?
Special for the students and for athletes like Paralympic gold and bronze medalist Tyler Turner.
Maybe we don't all get to stand at the top of a podium at the Olympics or Paralympics. However, that pursuit of a goal like that, it comes with community, it comes with pride, it comes with, growth, and that's what I think we can all get from sport.
From Rideau Hall to Parliament, the country's best athletes receiving a thank you on behalf of all Canadians.
Your success, your drive, your example, your sports, your sense of sporting values, that united this country.
A country athletes like figure skaters Paul Poirier and Piper Gillies are proud to represent.
Sport brings people together, and to be here and be celebrated feels great. But again, we're inspiring the next people to be like, hey, maybe that can be us one day. So I think these are really important moments, and we're just really embracing it all.
Canada brought home 36 medals in Milan, and Ottawa is hoping to grow that success with a $775 million investment in high-performance sport unveiled in the spring economic update. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Gotta love that moment, because when you think back, Milano Cortina seems like a while ago now, because it was back in the middle of winter. But love to see that the energy of those wins is being shared with the youth of our nation.
And inspiring them. Oh my goodness, that little boy was so sweet, and you can tell he really saw some stars in his eyes today, which is great.
And getting to put a gold medal around his neck.
Very cool.
You know what? We've got some future Olympians in our midst, I'm sure.
I think so.
That is our time. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with you tonight at 11:30 after CTV National News. Have a good night.